let's just go straight to it. We are going to do a karaoke challenge. You guys ready?
Yes.
No.
Uh,
The rules are the first person that starts singing the lyrics gets the point.
really?
Yeah.
Well, if you're sick, then you could just speak the lyrics. But you have to know the lyrics. That's the point of the game.
Yeah, so you don't guess it. You have to start singing
Yeah,
along.
we don't care what movie it's from. We care if you know the lyrics.
Okay.
Right.
Titanic.
Stop
All
it.
right, cool. We're also... Oh, tell them that we're filming this.
Oh, and we are filming this, and so we will be posting it. And that way you can see all of the hard work they put into putting these costumes on today. Because how silly would that be to, be on the radio wearing costumes if no one got to see it, right? I mean, we can see it, but you know what I mean.
All right. Let's get started.
Ready?
All right.
Song one?
Song one.
Now we
do
could
it.
be starting anywhere, correct? So,
Yes.
all right. Ready? Here we go.
Addams Family.
The Addams Family. Da 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 da.
I win.
All right,
Can't
well,
snap. I have lips.
we'll give you this one time, Des.
Sorry. Yay. I got too excited.
Awesome.
Des 1 point, everyone else 0.
All right. This next one... Oh, here. Look at this.
All right, now we're moving on to...
This next one's going to be my personal favorite.
Ooh.
Give it a second to load. Hang on.
All right. Started just right in the middle there. There you go. All right. Here we go.
You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yep. All right. Here we go.
I don't know all the lyrics, but I think it's the Thief the Fresh Prince from Bel Air.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I should know this.
All right, well, we'll give that point to you, Eric. But I'm very, very sad.
I'm very sad too. I should know this.
I think I'm too young to know that song.
All right. What's the score right now?
All right, the score is Eric 1, Des 1, and Ainsley soon to be higher than 0.
Hopefully.
This one you all should know.
Ready?
Here we go.
I was waiting for that.
We'll give it to Ainsley. Ainsley knew. She knew.
Yay!
You are starting them at like the weirdest times.
It is hard to do it in the middle, I
If you do
admit.
it at the beginning,
Yeah.
it's a little too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the score?
The score tied at 1, yeah.
All right. Let's do this. Here we go.
Ready for the next one?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Gotta catch them all!
Awesome. Good job, Des.
Anybody who would do it.
Me!
Des would do it.
Yeah, Des 2. All right.
Pikachu!
All right,
On
Des,
the
we
phone
leave- we have
case.
2 more songs left.
Okay.
Oh no, we have 1 more song left.
Uh-oh.
I apologize. This is it. What do we got? What's gonna happen if this? We better find a nice one.
We better have a
All right, here
tiebreaker.
we go.
Okay, ready?
Yep, ready.
All right.
I'll be there for you! I'll be there for you!
Well, I guess we'll
Good
have to
job,
give that to Des.
Yes! Yes! I binge watched.
Wave
I
at the
binge
camera.
watched.
Yay! Who won that one?
Yeah. Ding.
All 10 seasons.
Awesome.
I have no idea.
I know.
Watson did
No
too.
idea what that show is.
Friends!
Oh, that's why.
I'll be there.
Poor Ainsley, you're the baby of the group.
Sorry.
But I think that kind
I
of
win.
is going to move on to the next thing we wanted to talk about. Just kind of your favorite things, or the things you like to geek out on. Just anything, whether it's movies, games, books, TV. We don't care. Let's start with you, Ainsley.
Video games?
Any specifics?
Oh boy. I gotta say my all-time favorite game has gotta be the Half-Life franchise. I love Half-Life. I love Half-Life. Oh my gosh. And
High five.
Thank you. I'm hopefully counting to 3. I hope they'll count to 3 soon. Please.
Yeah, I don't know if Valve knows how to count to 3.
Come on, Gabe Newell. Don't let
We
us
hope.
down. And I really like video games. And I gotta say that's probably the most, like, geeky nerd thing I'm into. Is because with a video game, you can, like, no matter what kind of day you've had, you can always escape into a video game and be like, you know what, like, today was kind of crummy, but tomorrow will be better. And there's just so much fun stuff to do. Like, for instance, in Half-Life, you get to play as Gordon Freeman, like a physicist, and when you first start the game, you're just kind of like, what? It's just a boring day at the laboratory. And then, like, oh, yay! I blew up a giant crystal that ripped a hole in the universe, and now aliens are killing everyone. And it's my fault. Yay!
You know, I never knew he had a British accent this whole time, you know?
Yeah, this is why we bring on cosplayers, because they're as nerdy or even more nerdy as we are. So it makes us feel normal.
Yep.
You seem very passionate is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, I really love the Half-Life franchise. I actually did a costume of Alex Vance, and you actually meet her in the second one. She's your companion and kind of love interest in the game, and she is so helpful. Oh my gosh, I love that woman. She's awesome. And
She holds her own.
She does hold her own, and she's not one of the great things that I loved that Valve did. She is not. She's not like, ooh la la, Alex. She's not sexy. She's just a girl, and she's awesome. And that's really one of the characteristics they wanted when they were first designing Alex back in 2003, 2002. They wanted just a girl. They didn't want this gorgeous, perfect woman, because that's not how women look.
Right. Yeah, then definitely. What about you, Eric? What is something that you geek out over? TV, whatever,
Yeah,
games?
Star Trek. I love Star Trek.
Oh, this might be your time.
I have been watching Star Trek. I watched the original series in syndication with my mom, starting when I was about 7, and I've just really been into it. I go to the big Las Vegas Star Trek convention every year. I dress up like Data. Sometimes I wear 3 or 4 costumes a day, just to get through some of my repertoire. I am a huge comic books fan as well. I'm more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy, but I do like both.
We can talk. We got not a news break, but a commercial break coming up in a minute or two here, and then maybe we can talk a little bit of Star Trek with Eric.
Sure, that's fine.
And get some of your impressions on what you think. You know, what's coming up. There's a new movie coming out. I guess a lot of changes going on. We could talk a little bit about that. You guys into Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Oh, and I'd like to take a minute and say Alex was on ABC4 the other night. And he was on with, I can't think of the girl's name.
Me neither.
Can I have your autograph?
Yeah, I'll sign
And it was a great it was a good interview. So
you.
now is the voting is closed, and maybe we could talk about that a little bit on the other side. We've got
Yes.
about 10 seconds left, but
yeah, we can talk about that later.
and you can tell us about that. Is the voting done for that?
It is. Yesterday was the last day.
Okay. Is the winner been determined?
They won't announce it until mid-April in Anaheim, so maybe.
Okay, sounds cool.
Welcome back. We are descending from above. I don't know. I always try and make up a
Heaven.
new...
We're coming from heaven.
Or we're coming from below.
Oh, that's true. The descent. We're back. We're here. Game and Movie Empire. Fringe Radio presents Game and Movie Empire. I am Alex Watson. Here is my co-host,
Arthur.
as well as with Pat here, who is the reason behind the show. We really just want to give him all the credit. He's awesome. He's great. We have some of our favorite cosplayers here today. If you're just tuning in, state your names and who you're dressing of again, because we have people come in as the show progresses. So yeah, what's your name and who are you dressed as tonight?
My name is Ansley, also known as on social media, Pigtails and Power Tools, and I am dressed as Zero Suit Samus tonight from the Metroid series.
Oh yeah.
I am Eric Allen Hall, and I'm dressed as Superman.
He's broken everything he's touched so far.
I'm Des, or Des Creepcore on social media, and I am casual hipster Princess Ariel.
We can't find our forks.
You know,
Dingle hoppers.
Yes, we can't find our dingle hoppers because they just keep disappearing.
I feel like we should be playing the dating game. Cosplay number 1. What would you do if you took me to a
That's super
restaurant?
funny. Whoa, Arthur. You're getting personal. We have one quick question, and then we were going to talk a little bit about Star Trek. So we have a question from...
Chad Larson
please take it away, Arthur.
on our group chat said he just wanted to know what you guys thought about the whole fight between San Diego Comic-Con and Salt Lake Comic-Con.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on
Anyone?
that?
I think it's really kind of a non-issue. All over the country, in fact, all over the world, there are cities that have the Denver Comic-Con, the New York Comic-Con, and so forth. So Comic-Con isn't a trademarkable word. So I think maybe they're just wary of how successful the Salt Lake Comic-Con has been.
They didn't seem to care until we started having a good time.
I think the issue's been resolved or just kind of disappeared. Honestly, like everyone has said, it's all over the world. I love it. I love that there's a Comic-Con here because if I can't make it to San Diego, at least I can make it to one at home. I don't think it's an issue anymore.
Yeah. And I just realized your eyeliner is green, and then you have like sparklies, almost like...
Yes, I do!
That's awesome. So it's almost like you have scales, like or fish fin.
It's
whatever.
mermaid magic.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a magical being.
Sorry, just those little details that are awesome. Okay, did you have anything else you wanted to add? Are you good?
No, just that like it was a problem last year, but it's been resolved, and I don't. As far as I know, I don't think that they're really gonna bother us much anymore. But
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's been resolved.
I don't know what you're doing, but you can ask the next question, Arthur. Sorry, we're trying to get the chat because a lot of people have been messaging me asking for the chat. Let me get the chat for you guys out there. Go ahead, Arthur.
Should we move on to Star Trek?
Oh, that's right. Let's talk about Star Trek.
A little bit, just a little bit. Anyway, Eric, I'm glad, again, it's an honor to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
I've been watching, and just for those people, anyone who's a real Trekkie, of course, Bill Shatner's Get a Life, you were in that.
Yes.
And then Gene Roddenberry's son, Trek Nation, and then Beyond the Final Frontier, and then Captains of the Final Frontier. You appear in all of them, and if you do any highlight looks at the Las Vegas show, you're always in there. You always pop up somewhere. So obviously you've been a dedicated hardcore Trekker for a long time.
Very much so.
Now your Borg outfit, that thing keeps progressing. It seems you're always adding new stuff to it. You do Borg. You do several variations of Mr. Data. Who else in the Star Trek world?
I have an Andorian outfit that I wear. I've got a Klingon outfit. I have a couple different Captain Kirk outfits as well. I've got the green wraparound tunic, the standard gold uniform, and then from the episode where he has amnesia and he lives among some transplanted Native Americans and they revere him as a god, I've got that outfit too.
Oh, cool. Very
I
cool.
am Kirok!
So when did you get involved with Star Trek? Because that seems to be your core or your anchor, if you will, in this this world that you're in, that you participate in.
Yeah, going back to when I was about 7, I would watch Star Trek, the original series, in syndication with my mom. I remember when The Next Generation came out and being excited to watch that. And then I've really enjoyed all of the other series after that as well. I can remember just barely as a child watching the animated series as well.
Right.
And I picked that up on DVD a couple years ago.
And it was, we both know Larry Nemecek, who is kind of the god of Star Trek
Yes.
history, if you will. And what I found interesting is that the comic book series, to the true hardcore Trekkers, those are still episodes. Those are still voyages and what have you.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see. I think that started out with Gold Key Comics.
Right.
And then it was with Marvel for a while, and then DC, and then a couple other companies have taken it over.
I've picked it up and driven up. We got a new movie coming out next year. What are your thoughts on that? Of course, it was moving along with, was it Robert Orci and some other people were writing it, and now I understand Simon Pegg is involved.
Yes.
Who plays Scotty in the movie. How about some thoughts on that as far as what's going on there?
Yeah, just overall, there's kind of a debate, to put it mildly, between Trekkies about the new film series. There are those who love it. There are those that absolutely despise it, and I'm one of those who likes it.
Me too. Me too.
It was interesting. A few years ago, 2009, shortly after the film series came out, the MC at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention said, "Okay, everybody here in the audience, how many of you are here because of the new film?" And about 40% of the people in the audience raised their hands. So, as a longtime Trekkie, it is wonderful to me that so many other people can become part of the Star Trek family because of the films. And yes, there are some differences. Yes, some people view it as kind of a reboot, but I have enjoyed the films, and I'm looking forward to the third one. And I think, especially with Simon Pegg's involvement, he's known to be a nerd and a geek like the rest of us. That warms my heart that someone with as much love for the franchise as he is involved in it.
I've been reading that they're going to try to get back to the roots of the original series, and because let's be realistic, I mean, 1 was kind of unique, 2 was just a remake of Wrath of Khan with a few things switched up, which I thought was a little disappointing myself. But now the third one is supposed to kind of get back to. There's some talk about Bryan Cranston maybe being in the movie.
Please.
I've heard Idris Elba possibly as one of the villains.
So it's going to kind of go back to more of the fun and adventure and take it a little different. And then I'm also hearing, and you could maybe tell us if you know or not, there's some talk now about another television series on the horizon starting to pop up.
I saw something about that today, and unfortunately it is just a rumor.
Okay.
I think it was something about 10 years ago. There was a group that was spearheading something, and it just got picked up again. On the other side, there are a number of fan-produced series that are out there, and those have been fantastic.
Well, and even Walter Koenig is in a couple. I mean, there's some of the actual
Star Trek Renegades.
Right. And I saw that on YouTube, and I saw a trailer for it, and I thought it was, because there's so many of the fan-made trailers out there, and then I realized there's some episodes, and Nichelle Nichols is in one of them.
Yes.
So obviously, people at that caliber and that level feel that YouTube is a viable medium.
I've also heard rumors that they would bring back Enterprise for another season on Netflix, but as far as I know, that's just a rumor as well.
Gotcha. Your thoughts on Leonard Nimoy?
Very sad to see him pass. I was fortunate to be at one of the very last conventions that he appeared at live. He appeared through Skype here recently at the Salt Lake Comic-Con. But to see him, the feeling in the room when he was presenting, he was showing old difference of himself and DeForest Kelley and William Shatner when they appeared on Gunsmoke as different characters. To hear the love and appreciation he had in his voice for his fans. And I think to maybe people outside the geek community, they look down on Star Trek actors. They consider them to be typecast. But to see this kind of revolution in his career, to be as revered as he was, unfortunately now that he's passed, but I think he really felt and he knew how much the fans appreciated him.
And was there now there have been some rumors out there about Bill Shatner being in this new movie, a cameo? I mean, that's come up. My understanding is even Nimoy was going to be in it. Obviously, that's now changed,
right.
And they haven't started filming. And just Bill's 84. He just turned 84, 83.
Yeah, I think he just.
But he still looks great, and he's still going to town. But yeah, it was, and as far as that typecasting, anybody who, again, if you're into Star Trek, have probably seen the Captain's documentary that Bill put out, and you know what? It was for years what I thought was really touching about it. A lot of those guys, even Patrick Stewart early on, thought, oh, this is just craziness. And, of course, the comments that Shatner made early on was it Saturday Night Live when he did his skits. Now they're glad that they did this, and they're glad that they are the captains. I mean, they're glad they're typecast because, first of all, it's made them all multimillionaires how many times over.
Sure.
And now it's a good thing. Now it's good to be weird.
And it's interesting to see how people's lives have been touched. I remember in one of the documentaries, William Shatner talked about a man who came up to him and said, "You saved my life." Yeah. And William Shatner was like, "Oh, who is this crazy guy talking to me?" And he went on to say that he was a prisoner of war during the Vietnam War. And he would act out the Star Trek episodes with some of the other prisoners, and that kept them focused and that kept them sane under those types of conditions. And that's kind of an extreme example, but you look at people who are engineers because of Scotty, or you look at people who are doctors because of Dr.
The
McCoy.
CEO of Bombardier Jet, the jet manufacturer, it was because of Star Trek that he took the engineering route.
The inventor of the Motorola flip phone designed it because it opened up like
a
the Star Trek
communicator.
communicators did. Yeah.
Did you ever get an opportunity? And then we'll turn it back to these guys. There was a young man in a wheelchair who couldn't speak. He was at all the
Captain Dave.
Yeah, no, he passed away, didn't he?
He did, yes.
A touching story about that it took so much effort to get him to these events, but yet he was at all of them.
Yes,
Or as many as he could make.
I knew him. I wasn't close friends with him, but I knew him from the Star Trek convention. A few years ago, there was a couple who wanted to get married on the bridge at the Hilton Hotel before the experience closed down. And I was part of the wedding party.
Really?
I was dressed as Mr. Data, as Carlos from South America from the Big Goodbye episode. And Captain Dave was there in his wheelchair. His caregiver was with him. And I remember seeing him the year before he passed away at the Star Trek convention. His condition had deteriorated, and he could barely communicate. But his caretaker asked if I would come over and get a picture with him, and I was dressed as Lore, Data's evil brother, and so I have that memory of him.
It's touching to watch it. It is to bring a tear to your eyes watching that. It's amazing. One last question. It seems the cosplay, as far as Star Trek goes, it tends to really lean toward the next generation. That seems heavy. Of course, you with the Borg character, that's where the Borg was introduced, and Mr. Data. Are you starting to see some of the original series stuff come into play now a little bit? I mean, it seemed like it was so heavy next generation. Is it starting to spread out a little bit more and move a little bit more now?
It really is. This is the 49th anniversary of Star Trek. Next year will be the 50th.
Right.
And especially in the convention scene, people tend to plan more costumes around the original series. In fact, at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention this year, I have a friend who's spearheading an effort to make Thursday kind of a Leonard Nimoy day and have as many people as possible dressed like Spock to honor his memory.
That's insane, that thing, isn't it, in Vegas? I mean, that convention is just wall to wall.
It is an absolute blast. I've gone every year since 2002, and it is so much fun.
Great. Well, I'm going to turn it back to Alex. I want to thank you for giving us a little talk time.
If you must. I mean,
go ahead.
It was great listening to you guys. You guys are definitely passionate. It was great to listen to that. So, we have so many awesome questions, and I think we have a break here in the next 4 minutes or so. But we want to kind of just jump back into cosplay with a few other things. One question that we wanted to ask you guys, what is your dream cosplay? Like, do you have something that you maybe haven't accomplished yet, but that you really want to do? You guys are over here just like huge smiles on your face, like, yeah, you're going to. So, yeah, let's start. Let's start with you.
Oh, boy. One of two of my dream cosplays I've been wanting to do. For about a year now, I have been working on the Varia suit from Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. And if
I've been seeing your pictures from that.
Oh,
Is that what you've been posting,
yes.
those pictures? Well, you post pictures about your Zelda costume as well a little bit, but then you were posting pictures about that, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
So if you're familiar with the picture, it is massive. This suit of armor is very massive, and unfortunately, I haven't seen very many people cosplay as Samus in her full-on Varia suit, partially because it's so complicated, and I've been trying to make this for about a year now, and I hope to have it ready soon. And then my second one that I would dream of making is the Demon Hunter from Diablo 3, because the game is so much fun, and her full-on, like the full epic, like utmost highest tier suit of armor is amazing, and I would love to someday build that.
Awesome. I mean, you have tons of cosplay, but is there anyone that you would like to try and accomplish?
Yeah, actually, I'm not huge into anime. I do like it. One of my favorite anime shows, though, is Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah!
And I would love to do a Spike Spiegel.
Yes,
outfit.
please do it.
I try to use my own natural hair as much as possible. As Superman, I don't have dark black hair, so I'm wearing a wig. But for Data, Lore, I use my natural hair. If I don't apply any gel or anything to my hair, it frizzes out and it looks like Spike Spiegel. So I could probably use my own hair and do that.
Nice.
Yeah, Arthur is starting to gently like ease me into anime. Don't get me wrong; it's not that I don't like anime, but I just I've had this wrong perception of anime my whole life, and so we just recently watched Death Note, the live action movie though. It's not like the anime, but it was still pretty awesome. And so now I'm definitely thinking of Cowboy Bebop might be the next one that I'm trying to accomplish. You've tried a lot to get me to watch it, so maybe we should. All right, sorry, Des.
My dream cosplay is the Mistress of the Forsaken, Sylvanas from Warcraft.
Oh my!
Yes, it is full armor, body paint, and just to get into that character, I have to be very angry and very full of vengeful thoughts.
She's gonna turn on Screamo and then start making it. Like, yes!
Just angry music. That, and it might be a little bit hypocritical of me, but I would like to do a female Arthas, who, if you don't know the story, Arthas killed her. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're about to. Oh, we're just keep going. We're just gonna keep going. Sorry, you were saying.
You're fine. But yeah, so Sylvanas is my dream character to cosplay, and then Arthas, a female version of Arthas, which it would be hypocritical of me to be the person that murdered me. But I want to look into armor. I want to look into heavy armor painting and just extreme characters like that.
I really think you guys should definitely go forth and conquer these awesome dream projects you have. And I would love to see it. I will look forward to the day when I can be at Comic-Con and see those costumes. One thing I want to ask is, you kind of mentioned as how you get into character. What do you guys think about that? I mean, some cosplayers, they just wear the costume, they have fun. Some like to really get into the character that they're dressed as. What do you guys think?
And I think you talk right into it. Continue.
So, personally, I'm someone that has many insecurities, but when I dress up, I feel like I can be myself and add on to that character. So, cosplay is actually pretty therapeutic for me. I don't go full-blown character mode. I mean, if I did, then my Link would never speak. I would just,
Yeah, exactly.
If I was Mario, I would, it's me, Mario.
The ASPCA wouldn't like you for kicking turtles.
Yes. So I don't personally go full-blown into characters. I quote the characters. I might jump around like Mario. I might, slash my sword like Link, but I adopt some characteristics enough to give me confidence to walk around and be comfortable in that body and with my own personality.
When I portray Data, I purposely avoid using contractions. I use my left hand because Brent Spiner is left-handed, and if you notice, he'll hold the phaser and tricorder and things with his left hand. And one of the best compliments I get is when I look on Facebook or look on Flickr and people will leave comments, oh, here's a picture of that Data cosplayer. He never wrote character once. He talked just like him. And things like that let me know that I'm doing a good job. When I'm in my board costume, I've got the voice changer on. It's difficult to move. People are sometimes scared of me. Then I know I'm doing a good job cosplaying that as well.
Interesting.
When I do my charity work as Superman, I try to act like Superman would act.
Cool.
And so when I usually, when different characters that I have, for instance, Princess Zelda, she's very graceful and a leader. And in Twilight Princess, essentially, kind of what happens is her whole kingdom is murdered. And everyone's kind of turned to ghosts, and so Link has to restore the light to the land. And so Zelda, being trapped in the tower, she's still very graceful and beautiful, but she's very sad about what happened, that she couldn't do anything about it. So I try to portray myself, and I still be myself, but I try to portray myself in a more ladylike, graceful manner. And then with Samus Aran, she's very She's never talks.
Right.
In any of the games, she really doesn't talk, and other M does not count.
Right.
And Fusion's kind of Metroid Fusions was the only real connection that we got with Samus, in that she's a very quiet person, but she's a very smart and clever person, and she understands fully about what's going on.
Okay. Cool. Well, we're sadly coming to, I mean, we still have 15 minutes, so we still have some good time with you guys, so we still have a lot of good questions for you.
Are you breaking up with us?
Yeah.
It's
This is
not.
awkward,
It's not you.
but-
It's us.
Yes, exactly. But we kind of wanted to talk a little bit more. You guys are what I love about it is this isn't just a one-time thing for you. Like, you guys don't just cosplay, one time at the Comic-Con. Like you mentioned, you go to several Comic-Cons, and I know you both have gone to other Comic-Cons, and you've also, you mentioned about some charity events and things like that. Tell us, what do you guys do outside of cons that have to deal with cosplay?
I volunteer for charity events. Recently, Ansley and I actually, on Thursday, we went to help out at the Love Utah, Give Utah with the YWCA. It's a charity involved in stopping, female and child abuse and domestic violence.
Awesome.
So I like to do a lot
So
of
what'd you
charity
do with
work.
that?
We went there. We just helped, promote it with. We were dressed up as strong female characters. We tried getting people into the Even Stevens sandwich place, and in there they could actually pay money for their sandwiches and donate money. We also used social media. We used different contacts we had, and we were able to raise a lot of money for the charity, which was awesome. Aside from that, I personally like to do a lot of photography, and I see it as a form of artwork. So any chance I get to dress up, I dress up. There's a lot of small local events that are happening. There's the Penalty Box, Cosplay Nights. There's little events going on in April. There's a Japanese art festival going on, and I'll be dressing up for that too. So I just find any excuse I can, or I just travel around the States to go to a convention.
I gotcha. And what's your social media thing so people can find you?
It's going to be, so Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are all Des Creepcore.
Okay. And it's just DEZCREEP core?
Yes, like
Okay.
creepy, like I'm a creepy person.
No, you're awesome. Eric, what tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, I am part of a charity superhero costuming group called Heroic. And we've been around for about 3 years, and we are completely a volunteer organization. We will appear at community events, usually with children. We've worked with Make-A-Wish Foundation, the Muscular Dystrophy Association, Toys for Tots, different organizations like that. And we just appear in costume to take pictures with kids. Or for Toys for Tots, this past November, we stood out in the street dressed as superheroes and waved at people, and they would slow down and they would give us toys to donate, or come in and donate cash for needy kids.
Wow, and you just stood out there and you were trying to help those kids out.
Yes.
That's
yes.
So you were being an actual superhero.
Well, we
mean,
try
come
to
on.
emulate the superheroes.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome. That is so great that you guys would do that. And I know you said you did stuff with her. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, me and Des usually go together and do charity events because it's great. It's really awesome to work at a talent or a fun skill hobby that you have and then get to be able to share it with others and get them excited about it too. And I really like to do charity work because then it's not just like I'm having fun, but I'm also helping other people who need this help. Like, for instance, when we were at Even Stevens advertising for Love Utah, Give Utah, we'd also stand on the corner waving people in, like, "Hey, come here!" And obviously, like, if you're driving and you see some people in costume,
Yeah.
you're like, "What's going on? Like,
Yeah.
what are they doing over
Now,
there?"
you're talking about the restaurant, right? Not the Disney Channel movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's good. Okay, cool. And we're gonna. I forgot to ask you, but where can we find you for like social media and stuff like that? You mentioned it.
So my Facebook page is Pigtails and Power Tools Cosplay Creations.
That's a great name.
It took me a little while to come up with.
Awesome.
Yeah, and my Twitter is Pigtails Power.
Awesome. Cool. And sorry, Eric, we didn't get to ask you. And we're gonna also tweet out the heroic card here so that you guys can take a look at it as well. But
Fantastic.
for you, what you got?
For me personally, I just have a Facebook page. It's Eric Allen Hall, or if you just search for Eric 3060, you'll find me there.
Awesome, perfect. Did you have another question? Because I have another question, unless you have one ready.
Well, I just wanted to say I do think it's great when people have the chance to use your talents and your love and hobbies to make a difference in the world. And I think it's great that you guys do that. I just feel that it makes your life more fulfilling, and you can have fun doing it too. You know, it's not like all like tears and like you know it's not sad. I just think it's great to be able to make a difference in people's lives who need it. So good job, guys.
Thank you. It's fun to go to a convention and meet other fans of the same character. It's fun to have people ask you for your picture. It's fun to be in costume contests, but it's really rewarding to see the look in a little kid's face when they get to meet Superman or Spider-Man or Wonder Woman or Belle or other characters. And it's even more rewarding to know that you've made maybe even just a small difference in somebody's life.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when I was, I remember they were doing some kind of promotion for the very, very first Spider-Man movie, like the one with Tobey Maguire, back when I was little-ish, you know, and I remember meeting Spider-Man for the first time, and man, because Spider-Man is like my jam, you know what I mean? Like, Spider-Man was the guy that, like, I grew up with him. My mom bought me comics from him, and like I didn't read any other comics. That was the comics that I read, and like when I finally met him in person, like I remember just a little kid, you know, I was just like, oh my gosh. And whoever was Spider-Man was great because he was funny, he was really nice to me, he took pictures, and you know, he told me to stay in school and stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's what a superhero would do, you know. And so thank you guys seriously for that. One question I wanted to ask, you know, this is you know, generally for everybody, but one question that I know that I get asked by a lot of people: do you ever have to deal with some kind of harassment or kind of, because you know, you dress up and there's, you know, it's sad to say there are some people who maybe enjoy cosplay a little too much and maybe don't respect the cosplayers. And heck, this was even a problem with the male cosplayers, like at Disneyland for a long time. Like now they can't have Jack Sparrow anymore. I don't know if you heard about that.
We did. I did.
Yeah, they can't have Jack Sparrow anymore because he kept getting hit on and sexually harassed. So how do you deal with that kind of thing if that happens, or things like that? Because I also know that some people who I know don't want to cosplay because they're worried that creeps are gonna, like, you know, creep on them. Like, what do you have to say for those kind of people?
Actually, so last year with my Lady Mario at PAX Prime, I was walking and this guy just came from behind me and lifted me.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. He did put me down. He apologized. He explained he was very excited. We laughed about it later. Okay. But I have had many encounters with that. I don't wear over-sexualized cosplay, but the way I dress and my body type attracts attention.
Sure.
I've never been in a situation where I have felt very threatened.
That is very good to hear.
In pictures, I mean, sometimes hands tend to want to go places, but I shimmy away and I remain safe because I feel like if you politely shimmy or move your body, it can be avoided. The one time that I was followed and creeped on, I did go to the Umbrella Corp at Comic-Con, and then I was seeking safety with them, and they were very protective. So it was good. I think every convention does have a little area where people can go hide if needed.
So maybe be careful about cosplaying by yourself and traveling or something. Always cosplay with somebody or know somebody.
Yes, exactly. I mean, when it comes to going home, I do like to at least walk in large groups. That way I'm not walking alone in an outfit. And yeah, just have people around you. Try and have fun with it. If it gets awkward, find somewhere safe to stand.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
As a guy,
right.
I don't think I get as many, but I've had a few instances where I have been harassed, not to a great degree, but I had someone run it behind me. A woman slapped me on my rear end when I was wearing a Spider-Man outfit.
Oh my!
I was, I think, propositioned in kind of an interesting way. Once at the Star Trek convention, I was in my Borg outfit, and this very attractive blonde girl came up to me and asked me to inject her with my nanoprobes.
Oh, okay.
Which makes perfect sense from a Borg standpoint, but
Sure.
I think she meant something else. And then I had an instance where there was this drunk guy at a Star Trek convention who came up to me and started pulling on my tubes on my outfit and trying to push me backwards. I'm not super mobile in my Borg outfit anyway, so I kind of got away from him, but I'll agree with Des and finding a friend to be with or going to security, asking for help from other people around you is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. And thankfully at local Comic-Con, it seems they're very on that kind of thing. So that's really good to know. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, when you are picking out a costume to cosplay, be aware of what attention it will get, whether it be negative or positive. Like, for instance, you said you had a lot of people were afraid to dress up because of harassment or because they might get someone who's a bit too handy. Just be aware with what you're going to pick out and wear and know what kind of attention you're going to get. Like, for instance, when I dress up as Princess Zelda or Zelda the Hero, I get, like, people are very kind to me and they realize, like, oh, it's Princess Zelda. So you need, like, if you know what you're dressing as, you'll be really good. But I'd say the harassment I've probably only gotten harassed once. Luckily, very fortunately, only once. And it was actually kind of more felt sorry for the kid. Because after, like, so I'll explain the situation, what happened. So me and Des and a few other friends were at Anime Bonsai, a really fun local anime convention here in Salt Lake. And I was dressed as Zelda the Hero. It was some fan art that was done by Lorenzen Kodak or Aaron Diaz, who creates the comic Tomorrow Girl. And he did a Zelda in the Clockwork Empire, where Zelda was the hero and Link was the prince. And so I dressed up as Zelda the Hero. And so I had the Master Sword, I thought it looked really cool. And this kid comes up, he's missing a few teeth, he has a wife beater on, and a shirt, and I'm pretty sure he probably just snuck in. He's like, oh, Link, I love your outfit. May I see your Master Sword? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And so I let him see it, and he's like, yeah, it's really good. But this could have been a lot better if you had, like, done this and this, and the handle wouldn't have been as crappy. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so afterwards I was like, oh, well, thanks. And he was, like, trying to be like, he was like, now, if you're a true Zelda fan, you'll know this question. And he was asking me things like that, and I feel a lot of girls in the cosplay community are pressed if they're real girl gamers, but that's a completely different topic.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I just got away. My friends, Des was actually about to punch him in the face. He's like, how dare you!
Yeah.
But just kind of walked away, and it looked like after he walked, like I walked off and he walked away, he really looked very awkward and sad and lonely. I really don't think he had very many friends.
Like, I don't think you should judge someone else's cosplay, especially if you're not cosplaying.
Yeah.
Like, I would never go up to somebody and be like, oh, okay, well, this is wrong, and that looks awful, and I'm not cosplay or never tried. Like, come on now. They tried. Like,
What, did you only put 20 hours into that costume?
yeah. I put 20 hours on the internet on angry YouTube comments. That's what I do.
Don't feed the troll.
Well, all right. Well, we're sadly starting to wrap up here. We kind of already talked about your favorite things and stuff like that. You looking at me? Did you have something?
Well, I just thought...
I can sense when he's like...
It's weird. We have this psychic connection. I just thinking, like, it would be nice if we just had one last sort of... If you had advice for maybe people who want to get into cosplay, or just maybe anything for maybe newcomers.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, let's just go down.
Honestly, just pick a character you want to do, whether they're known or not. Do something that you feel comfortable with, try it out, and when it comes to you being scared of judgment, the way I see it is, I know I'm doing it in everyone else's eyes it looks wrong, in my eyes it looks unique. So just know that whatever you do will be unique, and hold on to it, be proud about it, and don't let other people bring you down.
Cool.
I would say follow your vision. You are the artist. Like we've talked about a little bit today, cosplayers, as an artist, your body, your costume is your canvas. And it's fine to take feedback from people, but follow your own vision and do what you want to do.
Awesome.
It's cosplay. It's about the costume, not your body type. It's about what you have made, how much time you put into it, and it's your passion. So show that off. Don't be afraid to be like, I'm afraid I'll get teased, and just know, if that happens, you're going to be happy. Look at the costume you've made. You're happy with it, and you've done a wonderful job. So don't be afraid to try cosplay, because really, it's really fun. I've really enjoyed it, and the community has been so kind and supportive.
Guys, we want to thank you for being here tonight. It was an honor to have you on the program and give up your evening. I know you're not feeling the greatest, but thanks for being a trooper. And Eric, an honor to meet you. Love to have you on Fringe Radio some night. Just talk a couple hours of Star Trek and get Larry on the phone with us.
That would be fantastic.
Real quick, you're going to be at Conduit at the end of May. Is that correct? You're going to make an appearance over there?
Larry will be there as well.
Okay,
as
sounds good.